Hey guys! Welcome to Turkish Spotlight Secrets. All the juicy details are coming up in this video, so make sure you're subscribed and share this story with your friends before we dive in. Thank you for being here. The past few days have been a storm for the tabloids, and at the center of it all has been Akınözü. The murmur of accusations swelled into a frenzy, pushing the conversation into every corner of social media. Then, late last night, Akin broke his silence with a declaration that lit a match under the already blazing rumor mill. The usually guarded star stepped forward of his own accord and said in no uncertain terms, "Ebru Şahin is not just important to me, she's the one. I've never pictured my life with anyone else, and I'm not interested in any other path." That single moment changed the tune of the chatter. For weeks, whispers had suggested that Akin had been involved privately with someone who was not Abrew, that a hidden intimacy was unfolding behind closed doors. The allegations, repeated and reshaped with each new post, had divided their fan base and left the industry buzzing. Supporters of the couple had waited, breath held, for a response. And when it came, it was razor-sharp. He rejected the claims outright, not with anger, but resolve, firm, measured, and directed toward one goal: protecting what he shares with Abrew. People close to the set say the decision didn't come lightly. Friends who have known Akin for years describe a mix of anxiety and determination as he prepared to speak. He feared that remaining quiet would only let the innuendo grow teeth and take chunks out of both his career and his private happiness. In that window, he chose to risk scrutiny rather than allow silence to suggest doubt. On the other side of the storm, a calm we couldn't ignore, Abrew. Those in her circle say she carried herself with quiet dignity from the start, and that when Akin finally spoke, she exhaled like someone who had been holding her breath under cold water, relieved, composed, and steady. It's no secret their relationship has long captivated the public. From the moment their on-screen chemistry first crackled, curiosity followed them like a spotlight. Producers noticed the same thing audiences did. There has always been a pull when Akin and Abrew share a frame, an electricity that lingers after the scene cuts. The tabloids latched onto that magnetism, and it became a headline machine. Now, with this declaration, their bond seems to have taken on a new weight. Akin's words were not ambiguous. They read like a vow, the kind of sentence that doesn't just float in the air, it lands. As soon as his statement dropped, social media erupted. Within minutes, the combined mention of their names flooded timelines. The phrase Akin and Abrew, side by side, dominated trending lists across platforms. Commentary poured in from fans in Turkey and abroad. Some called his message achingly romantic and, yes, a touch possessive, an admission that drew lines in the sand around their love. Others took it as a milestone, a sign that the two have moved beyond hints and careful smiles. The tabloids were quick to ask the question everyone else was already thinking: does this mean something bigger is coming? Could this be the glowing prelude to an engagement or a step even more momentous? Behind all the buzz, the private details gained their own momentum. Those who know Akin suggest he decided to speak now because the stories had begun to chip away at the walls he built to protect Abrew. During filming, he has reportedly been on the phone with her between takes, exchanging updates, reassuring, and listening. Friends paint a picture of a man who is irritated by the noise but more worried about how it spills over onto the person he cares about. Anger has never been the point, they say, clarity has. He wanted to clean the slate before the rumors hardened into false memory. Industry watchers say the ramifications reached beyond gossip pages. Directors and producers who've worked with the pair are said to be paying attention to how this moment reshapes public perception. A couple of projects, we hear, are discreetly reshuffling scenes and adjusting tone to acknowledge what the audience is feeling right now. One producer, who has collaborated with them in the past, reportedly put it this way: Akin and Abrew are the duo everyone can't stop watching. The current carries them. The energy they create together doesn't just play on set. It travels through viewers and sticks with them long after the episode ends. On Abrew's side, the clarity appears to have only deepened. Friends say she responded to the chaos with the kind of poise she's known for. She had already decided to let actions speak while the tide of hearsay rose around them, and she didn't buckle when it crested. After Akin's statement, those close to her say she felt a release. The relief wasn't about winning a point in a public debate. It was about seeing the person she trusts step into the light and speak from the core. She's reportedly scaled back a few public appearances and tightened her schedule to avoid fueling the fire, but not once has she let go of her confidence in him. The reaction online has been staggering. Posts dissecting the statement spread in seconds, and images of the couple, old red carpet photos, candid moments, and past promotional shots were shared like talismans. Fans rewatched moments from their previous work, pointing out details that, in hindsight, felt like Easter eggs hinting at the intimacy they now acknowledge openly. Many wrote that his declaration reads like a promise, the kind that belongs less to a press cycle and more to a life plan. Others speculated that a surprise collaboration could be on the horizon, a new project that would let them reclaim the narrative by doing what they do best, being in the same frame. Those whispers of what's next only grew louder, as if the air around them has begun to hum. People who've worked with Akin say he is both meticulous and intense, someone who won't toss words into the world without meaning them. Abrew, known for her calm strength, has a way of holding ground without raising her voice. Together, that balance shows. And right now, it feels like the chapter they're in is turning the page to something larger than a rebuttal to rumors. It feels like a hinge moment. The sense that the relationship has entered a new era is everywhere, in the tone of their friends, in the subtle shifts of their schedules, and in the way they are being written about, less as two stars orbiting the same sky, more as a single constellation. In the days after the statement, another round of speculation inevitably followed. The tabloids looked at their calendars and started to weave theories. Akin's workload has spiked, and Abrew's projects are multiplying. Even so, sources insist they have found time to be together, often in quieter spaces away from the cameras. There are whispers of dinners out of town, small gatherings with close friends, evenings at home that never make it to any feed. The impression these anecdotes give is striking. The foundation looks private, slow-built, and sturdy. Of course, not all the attention has been kind. A handful of columns suggested that the timing of the statement was crafted to surf the wave of their popularity. But others pushed back, arguing the opposite, that the rumor cycle tried to ride their visibility, and that Akin's words were a shield, not a headline grab. People in their circle underline a simple truth: trust has been the central pillar from the beginning. One friend describes his loyalty as something you can observe rather than hear. It's in the way he shows up, not just the way he talks. He checks in, he adjusts plans, he admits when the noise gets to him, and he keeps choosing the relationship over the gossip machine. Scrolling through comments, you see a portrait of affection painted by thousands of hands. Fans are studying every public appearance, zooming in on the smallest gestures, the way his eyes track her on a carpet, the arc of her smile when she listens to him answer a question. It's frenzied in the way only modern fandom can be, but there's sweetness in it too, an eagerness to witness something real. The combined name people use for them hasn't left the trending bar for days. To many, the statement Akin made reads like more than an act of romance, it reads like an intention for tomorrow. There's also chatter about how their dynamic might shift their professional paths. Some insiders predict a joint project sooner rather than later, something that leverages the gravity they have as a team. A limited series, a film script polished precisely for them, maybe even a surprise special that would let them lean into their history while writing a new chapter. And if that happens, a producer told us quietly, it won't just be pandering. It will be because the camera finds something when they're together that it doesn't find often, and when it does, audiences come back to it again and again. Away from sets and lights, the two have reportedly been relying on normalcy, routines, workouts, family dinners, the company of people who have known them longer than headlines have. Abrew is said to be prioritizing quiet over spectacle, while Akin is learning to leave some noise unanswered. The snapshots that do slip out. A doorway exit, a laugh shared near a car, the brush of a hand at an event, suggest the kind of intimacy that doesn't need to be announced to exist. It persists whether cameras are rolling or not. Still, a big question hangs in the air. When a statement like his lands, what comes next? Friends won't confirm anything, and neither will the couple. But the tone of the conversation has changed. It's less about whether the relationship can withstand scrutiny and more about where this clarity leads. The old rumors already sound like echoes. What's foreground now is the softness of their moments, the conviction in his voice, the composure in hers, and the possibility that their private timeline has quietly moved forward while the public was distracted by noise. One thing is certain, this saga has pulled the industry's gaze into focus. Writers are rumored to be tweaking lines, directors are rethinking beats, and marketing teams are mapping out ways to meet this moment without exploiting it. In a way, the couple seems to be teaching a lesson right in the middle of the spectacle, about boundaries, about choosing what to answer and what to ignore, and about defending a bond without turning it into a performance. They are not saints, they are human. They argue, they make up, they miss calls, they text too much, they retreat, and then they open the door again. But those close to them say the through line is simple, they keep choosing each other. So here we are, after a week of rising whispers that became a roar, after a midnight statement that silenced the room, after days of analysis and heartfelt posts. The atmosphere feels primed for bigger news. Maybe it will come in the form of an announcement tucked at the end of an interview. Maybe it will show up in photographs from a weekend away. Perhaps it will be work that tells the story for them. Or maybe the next step will stay where so much of their love already lives, out of view, under the surface, steady and growing. Every eye is on their next move, and yet, if you listen closely, you can hear a quieter beat beneath the noise. It's the rhythm of two people making choices together. And whether the next headline is about an engagement, a project, or simply a sighting that proves they're still doing the everyday things people in love do, the feeling right now is that something has shifted. The declaration made by Akin and the calm strength of Abrew's response have redefined the narrative. They didn't just push back against rumors, they replaced them with a truth they chose to share. We'll keep following every development with care and curiosity. If there's a surprise around the corner, you'll hear it here first. For now, that's our story. If you enjoyed the video, don't forget to subscribe to Turkish Spotlight Secrets and share it with someone who's been following this journey as closely as you have. See you in the next one.